Welcome back once again to another episode of Jack's Tech Corner. This is once again Photoshop Elements 6. I am your host Jack, and today I thought we'd have a look at another one of the softball pictures I told you about earlier that I was going to show you a way to do a cloning technique to kind of hide a imperfection on your picture. Now if you look right back here, we have, if this is like, it looks like a sunspot almost on this fence. But if I looked a little closer, believe it or not, that's a stop sign, is what that is. That's the back of a stop sign I found coming through on my picture. Let's go back to fit the screen. So what we want to do is we want to hide that because it does look like some kind of glare coming out of the lens or a sunspot. Now the easiest way to hide that, we could use, like we did before, the healing brush or the clone stamp tool. We can go down here and go to clone stamp tool. We can use that. But then you have to sample a lot of areas around there and try to match up that fencing. Pretty hard technique. It can be done, but it's going to take you a lot of time. This is going to be a quick, easy, dirty little fix, I like to call it, just to get your picture up and ready for developing. Let's go over here to our selection tool. See right here where it says rectangular marquee tool? Let's right click on that and go to the round or the elliptical marquee tool. Now what you're going to do is go over here and try to size that up. You're going to look at that and try to get an idea of the size of that and come up a little bit higher. And we're going to just try to left click here and make this as perfect as we can. And I already started too high there. Just undo that. And try it again here. It might be better if we bring this up a little bit. You know, I just magnified it a little bit so I can see a little bit better. Now I'm going to try it again. And try to get about the same size as that sign right there. And now remember, you can see the back of this picture is a little blurry, so it's going to hide it anyway. It's a little bit bigger. Now, once we get that selected like that, now what we want to do is go up to where it says Layer. New layer via copy, because what we're doing is we're copying that selection and we're going to make a new layer in our layer palette. Layer, new layer from copy. Here it is. Now we have that little marking on there on that new layer, and the rest of it is transparent, so you know by that we can move it around. Let's click the move tool. You can see it highlights the area we just copied, and we can just slide that down. We're going to just kind of slide that down to cover the sign. Right about there. Now what I like to do is lower the opacity down just a little bit so we can blend it in just a little bit better. You don't want to lower it down too much, or what's going to happen is you're going to have the part that you're trying to get rid of, you're going to actually have it coming back through. We'll just lower it down a little bit so it kind of blurs in with the background. And once we have that done, I like to always go to view and then fit the screen, and we'll click off of it. So now you see it is gone, and I know you're going to say there's a little bit of an edge here you can see. Now you could either blur that out a little bit, you can actually highlight that, we can blur the background even more. Or, you know, for printing, when you go to blow this up, we're hopefully that's not going to see in there. But like I said, you can definitely take that. You can actually blur it out some more. You can blur the background down a little bit more if you want. I'll show you a quick technique for doing that. Let's go here to the selection tool of a marquee. We can go all this right here. We can actually go to filter once we have it selected. Go to blur. And then let's just go to blur here. We can just blur it down a little bit. We could do that again. And just keep adding some blurs. Blur more. And then once you get it to where you want it to, you know, how you want it to look, then just click OK on it. Go to select and deselect it. So we're just going to blur that back there. Alright, the next part I want to show you, I've had a lot of emails, and I figured I'd throw it in here, of, Jack, how do we do layering if we're working with text? Text is no different layering than it would be to layer anything else. When we create layers, we're just creating multiple layers on top of our picture so that way we don't destroy any part of the underlying picture itself. So if we click on text right now and we add text to this picture, we're going to add text down here. You can see over here where it already creates a new layer. It's called layer 2. The T gives it away on there. That means it is text. And then just go ahead and start typing. Softball 2008. Now, when you're adding text, you can go up here and you can play with the fonts and everything. But I'm going to show you a really quick way to kind of adjust the size of that text. Just click on the Move tool again. And click on this again. Well, sometimes this is how it is. We're going to resize it and we're going to scale it. There we go. Now we can scale that. Let's go back and do that again. I'm on the layer. So the layer is the part of the picture that we are working on. Think of a layer as its own picture. We want to enhance the size of this without using the font size. Go to Image, Resize, and go to Scale. Now you get these handles on here where we can actually pull this up. Pull it down. Over. Once you get it to the size you want, see the font sizes will change for us automatically. Just click the little check box. You can see the font size went up to 340. We would never figure that out with the pull down menu because it only goes up to 72. This is a nice little quick way to get your text adjusted to the right size. Now, what we want to add next to this text is some different features. And I know if you watch my videos, you know I really like to add bevels to my text. So let's start off with a nice bevel here. And I can just click on it, pull it down, and drop it. You can see here, it gives me a layer styles adjustment. If I double click that, this is our style settings. You can adjust the lighting angle, the bevel size. Watch the bevel go up down here. Okay, we're going to make the bevel go up. See how big that bevel will go up? Let's bring it down a little bit. I always like to throw a drop shadow on there. Just put a little shadow in the background there. Just makes it look like it's coming even more off the page. Makes it look really, really nice. You can do a little glow if you want to throw some glow on there, outer glow. You can throw a little bit of outer glow on it. There's just so much different parts here you can actually do with this. You can do inner glows. You can see here where we're getting some inner glows inside that. That looks pretty good. Let's click OK. Now what I wanted to show you next very quickly was how we can change the color of this or add a pattern to it. It's a pretty neat little way of doing things. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Go back to your marquee tool. Yes, your rectangular marquee tool. Select that, and we're going to select clear above the top of this. Alright. Now bear with me here. I haven't done this much, so we're going to try to work this out. But we're going to fill that, and we're going to fill that up here with a gradient type of a gradient type of a pattern. So let's go in here and look. And I'll pick this one. I'm going to go down through here. And what we're going to do here, and that's not actually where we wanted it. See, sometimes that happens when it's live. First, let's go up to new layer. Always remember to create a new layer, because we want this to be on a new layer. So let's do that again. Select it. That's okay. And go back down here to the gradient tool. Okay, we're going to go across here. You can go any which way you want direction wise. And then pull your text above that. It looks like it's on the background. See how it became the background? But we really don't want to mess it up. What we're trying to do is change the color of text. Pull the layer text back down under it. Click on this one. And then if we go up here to layer, we can go group with previous. This is the previous layer because it's on the bottom. Now look at that. How long would it have taken us to color that text like that with all those multiple colors? We did it very quickly just by grouping this layer to the text layer. It grouped that color right in and still left our background alone. Let's go to select, deselect, and there you go. Now we have a nice picture. The background's fixed up, and we have some text on here. And that's how you layer your text, folks. It's very, very easy. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this on a Thursday, please note Thursday I have a live show that I'm doing